All right, the other thing I wanted to say before we get even started on this is that it's sent now. So before we get started, in order for these things to work, your classroom and your teaching strategies, the way that you run your classroom, they have to be on point with all of the previous trainings we've done. So if you're still controlling the kids' day completely, and the kids have no power in the classroom or very limited power, if you're still using negative and harsher tones rather than problem solving children through these problems that you're going to see in this training, if you're not doing those things, this stuff won't work. So before you do any of this stuff, go back and watch the behavior training on YouTube, the teaching styles training. There's several of them. If you'll watch those and try to adjust your ideas, your schemas of teaching preschool kids and toddlers, that's when you can start using this stuff, if that makes sense. It's really, I tell people this all the time, and I'm not sure that they believe me, but some of you guys do, because some of you guys have changed your stuff. I mean, you have taken all of this and you're really doing what's right for the behaviors and respecting kids. And I swear, I get people saying, oh my gosh, it really works. And it does. It's easier. Doing these things is so much easier than constantly being like, do this, do that. Oh my gosh. Like, your stress levels will go so far down, because once you change your style, those kids change theirs. There develops a mutual respect, and it'll work. So give it a chance. And if you go on and you watch these behavior trainings and you think, I don't know how to do this, well, guess what? We have these wonderful program coordinators now, and Kim is making sure that everybody has access to them. Go to them and say, help me change my style and help me make my life easier. And they will. All right, we go. Let's hope it all works. Okay, but this is techniques for challenging behaviors in your classroom. But does it work when put to the test in real life? The first thing we're going to do is we're going to reflect. And I just have to say, I did these pretty transitions where it waved into the next screen, and now my pretty transition is gone, and I'm not going to mess with it. But sorry about it not being pretty. We're going to reflect, guys. I'm going to do it with you. I need you to get a pen and paper. You can use your iPhone, but for me, pen and paper is just more effective. Like, I don't have 10 texts coming in at the same time. I can just be by myself and do my old-fashioned writing like I did when I was a teen, writing down my feelings. So get you a pen and paper. And what we're going to do is we're going to go back to a time as an adult where we felt like these people on the screen, these pictures, broken, hollow, something happened, and it just took us to our max. We couldn't deal with anymore. We were sick. And I had to add this in. I don't even know if Tanya's signed on, but we were as weak as butter, she said. We discussed that the other day. Is that really a thing? Then you're gonna, after you come up with this moment as an adult that took you to the point that these pictures are at, I want you to just write down the essence of that moment, or the hour, or the week. And even if you can't put an emotion on it because it was that bad where you couldn't even feel what you were feeling, write down just as much as you remember. Now, when we get to the next screen, you're going to have plenty of time to do this. Then you're going to write down exactly what you needed during that time. Did you need a hug? Did you need everyone to leave you alone and have peace and quiet? If you never got what you needed to get through it, reflect on what would have helped you get past it. And not materials. So like, well, I just needed $1,000. I'm talking about the emotional part of it. All right. So think about what you needed, whether it was a death of a family member, loss of a job or a house or whatever. All right. We're going to go on and I'm going to play 3 minutes of relaxing guitar music. Got to let it. It's got your little sheet of paper. First, let's what we're going to do is we're going to take you out of that situation on your paper and we're going to put a kid in there. Okay. And let's look at how a kid deals. Okay. But first we got to remember a child's problems to us, like, oh my gosh, why is she melting down that she can't have that 4th pack of gummies? It seems so ridiculous. And to an adult it is. And trust me, I am like, oh my gosh, just get over it. But their problems are as big as our problems to them. So your car breaking down, there's a scientific reason for it too. So your car breaking down, you know, being late to work, all those things that you wrote down on your papers, that is equivalent to a child losing their favorite blankie, their sippy cup. Okay, so in real life, them not being able to drink out of their sippy cup or not being able to finish building their block tower is a lot less traumatic than us losing our mother. But in their brains, if you're comparing what the brain is doing when the child can't finish his block tower and your brain to when you lost your mother, the brains deal with it the same, if that makes sense. So they're egocentric. Their brain just processes losing a blankie the same as my brain processes losing $2,000. And we're going to look at a little bit of differences between a healthy adult. When I say a healthy adult, I mean someone who has, you know, had trauma in their past, but they have worked through that trauma and they are not stuck in, you know, constant anxiety and things like that. And we're going to compare those healthy adults to a child 4 to 7. And the reason the age is not ages 2 to 5 is because before age 4, they don't have any of this stuff. They don't have any type of impulse control that would make a difference. All right. They don't have empathy that would make a difference. But at age 4, it does start to show itself. Now, some of you guys, this is a tricky thing. You know, I've thought, well, my child did empathize at 18 months. We're going to look at it a little later. You got to remember every child is born different with different temperaments and different attachment styles. So yes, sometimes you're going to see your little bitty guys doing stuff that looks like empathy, that looks like impulse control. And this is a beautiful thing. It's not because they have the skill. It's because you have been modeling it as a teacher, as a parent, and they are imitating you. But as far as the brain process, a child at age 4 is just now beginning to grasp the fact that everything does not happen because of them. And when we say egocentric, which is I'm the only person that exists in this world, when we say that, we think about good stuff, right? We think about, oh, well, I'm the center of attention type stuff. But the thing is that also includes bad things that happen. So if daddy leaves before the age of 4, the child immediately believes Daddy left because of them. And it's just because they still have this mindset for survival. It's naturally occurring for them to survive. They have this egocentricity that even when bad things happen, it's their fault. But they're just now at age 4 starting to realize, hey, wait a minute, maybe it's not all my fault. Whereas an adult does understand that bad things sometimes just happen and it's not their fault. Healthy adults can self-regulate. However, until age 4, you're just beginning to, or at age 4, you're just beginning to understand, and you can start self-regulation. With healthy adults, they're in that formal operation stage. They can think hypothetically, they can think abstractly when they're in a problem. But those little guys, it's concrete and symbols. They can understand that some of life can be symbolic, you know, but they can't think hypothetically. Impulse control, we've got it. And really, it doesn't begin for the little ones until age 4, unless they're modeling you. We are capable of using defense mechanisms. And I have these defense mechanisms on the next slide. But for children, unless they're modeling it, age 7 is when they become capable of rationalizing things and blocking things on purpose. We're capable of intimacy. They are still in there. Do I feel guilty about who I am? Or am I cool? Am I great? Does the world need me? So when you have that problem and you were going through it, just remember this: when a child's melting down, that 4 to 7-year-old column, that's where their brains are. If it's before age 4, you're going to have to really use some skill to get them to stop being a terrible toddler. Oh, there's my pretty wave. Yay. Okay. These are the wonderful little defense mechanisms. All right. I know that you cannot read the little bitty type. Probably you might be able to take a picture and zoom in. You can see my reflection in the background of it because I took a picture of it. These are hanging in my office. I encourage you to come by my office sometime and read these or Google them. We can compensate. We can go into denial. We can do displacement. Honestly, I can't tell you what all these mean, but I know they're super cool. Like there's one where you pretend like you are somebody you're not, right? There's rationalization, which one of our members of our board said, whoop, that's me. But it's real cool to see those. Kids can't do those, but we can. And then you see Piaget's stages of cognitive development. I just wanted to put that up there because I talked about it in that last slide. They're still about symbols and concrete objects. And we are hypothetical. We can think and reason. And then y'all probably have heard of this, Erik Erikson. You can see that from ages 2 to 5, they're looking at, am I shameful? Do I feel guilty about who I am? Or am I awesome? And does the world need me? Whereas we down here are becoming capable of love and capable to generate. All right. Those are just super cool. Please come by my office and check out defense mechanisms. That's some wild stuff. All right, let's think about misbehavior. So what you needed in that time is what they needed. Was your bad moment causing fear in you? Did it make you feel inferior to others? So those are my 2 feelings that bring on that scary anxiety where you think you're dying. So let's look at those 2 big ones. When I was fearful, what I needed is comfort. That was genuine, not, oh, it's okay, your mama's going to come back. But I needed somebody to look me in the eye and say, hey, man, your mom comes back every day. She's going to come back. Go look at the picture in your cubby if you need to see her face. I needed people to keep their distance, but still be there with me, So these things are complicated and things that a kid can't tell you. Like, I want to be alone, but I need to know you're here. They can't say that. Even I've had people tell me, you shouldn't feel like your mom's not coming back. That's silly, but it is the way I feel. It's a genuine feeling. Oh, a little tidbit. I learned this about 10 or 15 years ago. There is a woman out there. She's a researcher. Her name is Joanne Deek. If you still got your paper and pen and you are raising little girls, write her name down. Joanne Deek, Deak. She wrote that book, My Fantastic Elastic Brain. All her research is on little girls' self-esteem. And it is, I came into contact with her when Kendi was about 7 years old. And she taught me so much. And one thing that I will never forget that she taught me is the greatest destroyer of a little girl's self-esteem is a loud, harsh voice. And it doesn't matter if it's like a thing in their brain, in little girls' brains, no matter where that loud, harsh voice is coming from, whether it's coming from a place of love or not. I think I got a chat. It's still, oh, cool. So Sierra, you did that. You know about Joanne? Okay, so like, gosh, she's so cool. Anyway, I felt like that really changed everything. I shared that with Kennedy's dad. And he cried because he was so used to going, Kennedy, get down here. And it was from a place of love. But there's something about a loud, harsh voice that destroys little girls. Okay. When I felt inferior, when I failed, when I had bad report cards and bad tests, I needed my parents or my teacher to teach me how to do better rather than tell me, look, you are so far below all these other kids. They can do it and you can't. Because when they said that, all I wanted to do is give up because I felt inferior. And also it made me not want to go to them and say, look at this test, I need help. It made me want to hide those tests. Yeah. And just, guys, I want to say, get over it to my 4-year-old at least 10 times a day. Okay. Because guys, if I was not trained in this and I didn't know what it was going to do to her brain, girl would not be as cool as she is. It's not common knowledge. It's something you got to learn about. And, if I didn't know, then I would do it. Because honestly, that's what I want to do. I want to be like, Ella, just get the freak over it. Just be quiet and leave me alone. But I want her to turn into something awesome as an adult. So I gotta just bear through it and act like I understand why she's torn apart, that she can't go outside for 10 more minutes. All right, now we're going to get into some great stuff that I got from HighScope is where all this comes from. We can assume these things about challenging behavior. It almost always has a message. There is a reason for it. They don't wake up and say, I'm going to really make my teacher mad today because I just want to be in trouble. It almost always has a message. Sometimes there are emotional disturbances or disorders there that we cannot fix without professional help, without therapists, without OT, PT, whatever, speech. And in those cases, you can do what's best, but sometimes it doesn't help. Children are going to use behavior because they do not have those matured social and communication skills. That's what behavior is. It is a replacement for not being able to express themselves. And then this one I thought was a good thing to know. Behavior that persists over time usually is working for the child, unless that child has some kind of disorder that persists over time because of their brain. But if it's a typical developing child and that behavior doesn't go away, it's because it's getting what they want, whether it's negative attention and the teacher having to, work with that child constantly, giving that child constant attention, even negative. Hey, sometimes that's what kids want because then they aren't getting anything at home. Common reasons for challenging behavior. Now, remember what I said earlier. You can't think about this stuff until your room and your teaching methods are on point. So I know some have signed on and I'd already said this and you didn't get to hear it. If you're a teacher who, by no fault of your own, it's probably because you haven't had the opportunity to be on trainings, like I said, this isn't common sense. You got to learn about it. So if your classroom is under your control most of the day, if you're not giving children free choice, if you're not encouraging their individualization, giving them respect, problem solving through their conflicts, then none of this stuff will work. You got to go back to previous trainings on my YouTube channel. If you got your paper and pen and you haven't seen those trainings, write down Jennifer Ladd Heidel, Heidel. You're going to search that on YouTube. You're going to go to trainings for KKDC. And then you're going to see behavior trainings, teaching style trainings that are going to help you get your room in that order. All right. And if you are like, dude, I can't do this, we have program coordinators now that their sole purpose is to help you teachers. So if you're having a hard time getting these things in order, you contact your program coordinator and they'll help you. And also I want to say, if you didn't hear, if you will change your room to what these trainings say, your life's going to be easier. It's not harder. What you're doing right now is harder. Having to constantly control these kids and fighting against what their brain tells them to do. If you just learn about their brain, and then your life is not going to be so stressful here at Kitty Corner. I promise. We got teachers that can testify to it, that have changed things. And they're like, oh my gosh, this stuff really works. So, okay, I got off a little bit, but common reasons for challenging behaviors. If your room is in great order and your teaching strategies are where they should be. Hunger, of course. Y'all know when a kid is hungry, they can't think about anything else but that tummy. When they're tired, they become bipolar. We all know this. When they're sick, changes at home, developmental or disability. And when it's developmental, a lot of times it can be that maybe they're doing something at home. This one right here, classroom skills don't match the child's skill. That's when, like, say you are doing, what's a hard letter? What's a hard letter? An E. Say we're doing a lowercase e, and that child cannot do that E. Well, this quote comes from a child and it became famous. I think he was 4 or 5. It's better to feel or be seen as bad rather than stupid. So a kid will literally act out at learning time because they would rather feel like the bad kid than the stupid kid. So just keep that in mind. And then, of course, attachment issues that we're going to look at here in just a second. Oh, what you doing there, little buddy? Going through them. I didn't push it when I should. Sorry, guys. Here we go. All right, this slide made me cry when I pulled it up. And I'm gonna try not to cry now. Luckily, my picture's not on there. Have a kid screaming at me too. Ask Eric. So we got secure attachment. That's when that child believes and trusts that his needs are going to be met no matter where he is. That child is secure, he's an explorer, and he's happy. The mother is quick and sensitive and consistent. Okay. Then we have distant, disengaged, the avoidant attachment, where the mama is so stressed out, she just is too distant. That child usually doesn't explore a lot. He subconsciously, guys, way back in his brain, he believes that his needs probably will not be met because they haven't been met before. So those kids are at our daycare, right? Then we have ambivalent attachment. This is where the mama she's sometimes sensitive, oh, I love you, and then she's sometimes neglectful and doesn't feed him. That's where he cannot rely on his needs being met. He's anxious, he's insecure, and he's angry. Boy, do we have those kids. They have ambivalent attachment. And so then we have the disorganized attachment where they are severely confused. All right. And this is where they're depressed, they're angry, they're non-responsive. That's when mama is living in a state of fear all the time. The video's off. And we have those kids too. So this slide is very depressing. And you got to consider those things when you're looking at behaviors. If a child subconsciously believes that his needs are not going to be met, you're going to have to, for 6 months, teach him that you are secure, that you are his attachment. So that way he believes and trusts that you're going to be there. So I'm ready to get off of that because that's so depressing. Okay. These are some common problems that on House Scope that teachers are really annoyed by. All right. Those kids that run off, the escapees, we're going to look at them in detail. These are kids who run into the hall and run out of the room. And what these teachers have changed to, they have, rather than saying in their head, I have to watch her constantly, she's so hyper. They tell themselves, she doesn't understand my expectations, and she's a kinetic learner, which is a lot of children. What can I do to help? So what can that teacher do? What she started doing, these are real examples. She has started to teach that child to say, I need my dance time. Whenever they feel like running around the room 500 times or, throwing toys off the shelves, you teach them to come to you and say, starting to feel out of control, I need my dance time. And allow her to go. If it's at circle time and she looks at you and says, I need my dance time, have it planned out where she knows where she can go to break it down or stretch or whatever to get that out of her. That's what a good classroom looks like, guys. So, and I had to throw in this quote. Actually, Melanie sent it to me. She said it reminded her of Ella. This is Maggie Smith's child. And Maggie Smith said, oh my gosh, I've got such a stressful day. And her little girl said, make sure you get weird and take dance breaks. One of the greatest things I've ever heard. You can also help her by giving her leadership roles, help her feel important, and then she might not run because she's needed. These things teach acceptance of who she is, all right? And it keeps you from fighting her brain. And guess what her brain's saying? Move, move, move. You got to move so that way you can survive in this world and your muscles can develop. That's what that child's brain is saying to her. And if you go in and say, hey, you got to sit down, man, you're fighting against nature. So we got to learn about what her brain's telling her to do so we can not go crazy trying to make these kids be still. Another one is whining. There's 3 different temperament types. You got your easy kids, your difficult, and your slow to one. Easy is I can do it. Difficult is I will not do it. And then you got your slow to one kids who are cautious and they say, I can't do it. So every child in your classroom is born with one of these 3 temperaments, okay? You got to keep that in mind when you're going in to help these kids. Instead of he whines from the moment he gets here until he leaves, they tried, he must really miss his family and have a difficult temperament. Things you can do, make a picture schedule. You can even make him a picture schedule, a book he can go to at any time. I know they've done that at Rockwood with a child who really struggles from separation with his mama. You can also let him go and look at a picture of his mom at his cubby whenever he needs to. Like that's no stress, man. Just, okay, you're struggling. Go to your cubby, get out your picture and look at it as long as you need to. All right. Let me sleep with the picture of mom every day. You can, I saw a great idea where a teacher had made fabric pillows and those fabric pillows had pictures of their parents on them. So when they went to their cot, they had a little bitty pillow with a picture of mom and dad. I wanted to do that for you guys, but I'm not at the point where I got that money yet. But if I ever get the opportunity, by golly, those kids are going to be sleeping with pictures of their parents on a pillow. You can also just draw mama pictures and letters. The kid that leaves circle time, instead of, it's so disrespectful that they leave my planned circle time, try, he may need a fidget to focus, or is my circle time hard for him to understand or too boring for his temperament and his development? Just, changing that way of thinking. First, you need to put yourself in a hard to follow for your training. What? Put yourself in a, what? Oh, gotcha. Put yourself in a training or a meeting where you're super bored because you've already heard it 100 times, or a meeting where you don't get it, and think about what you do in those meetings and all the skills you have to deal with that. Just empathize with the kid. Tell me your need. Yeah, I've already done this for several classrooms that have had a hard circle time. I can find cheap fidgets and buy a fidget for each of your kid. They get their fidget when they sit down. Once they stand up, that fidget's gone, and it at least gives them something to fidget, to play with. So if you can't get fidgets, send me a message, and throughout the next couple of months, I'll just keep ordering them and your kids can have fidgets. And again, ask your department program coordinators for ideas about how to meet the needs of all children at a group time. A lot of the time that might be smaller groups or more individualized stuff, but just talk to them. All right. We're going to look at 2 examples here. We're going to see teaching a child that they are the problem, and we're going to see teaching a child how to solve the problem. All right. First, we're going to watch my silly video that I made. That's pretty silly. I made it in the school agers room by myself. And just remember, this is not for school agers. This is more for preschool, because school agers are different, guys, because they already are who they are. All right. So they can take stuff a little better than these little guys. All right. Let's watch me being ridiculous. Just imagine this room is full of children. Wait, somebody tell me, can you hear that and see that video?
We can hear it, but not see it.
Okay. Okay, so the reason why you can't see it is because I need to screen share the video. we are going to a new share. And I'm going to share my screen. Okay, I'm just going to have to do new shares to get through this. Back to meeting. What's it telling me to open here?
We can see the video now.
Sweet. I'm getting better at Zoom, guys. All right, this is me. Because let me tell you why I had to do this. You can't find bad teachers much on YouTube, so I had to pretend like I was a bad teacher.
Hard to find videos of bad teachers to compare. So I'm the teacher, and I'm going to tell these children that they're a problem. We're going to see which is more effective. Guys, stop being loud, okay? Go sit at the table. Yeah, what's up? Yeah, what's up? Like, that is not the way that you're supposed to use markers, okay? Ah. Hey, go sit at the table. Your behavior is not cool. Like, you're not supposed to act like that. You hear me? Oh gosh, I wish I could go home. All right, nobody talking. Y'all are getting too loud, so nobody talks at all. Okay? Put the toys up. I'm done. Nobody say a word. All of you, to the table. Y'all gotta learn how to act. But I'm not willing to teach them how to act. That's the problem. Sometimes we just got to do what we got to do when we have bad days. But overall, that's never how a classroom should go, because we're teachers. So we're teaching. And we're not teaching algebra or world history. All we're doing is teaching children how to handle problems, you know. So that's what we do not want to see. And now you're going to get to see an example of what we do want to see. And I know it's already been talked about in the training, or it will be. Think about, we teach a child to swim, we teach a child to drive, we teach a child to do algebra problems. But when it comes to behavior and social emotional stuff, we don't teach them. Like, you don't see algebra teachers saying, all right, you did that wrong. Go sit at the table. All right, but that's what we do when they act out. So we got to teach behavior like it's math. Make sense? All right. Now we're going to go to a new share to get back to the PowerPoint. I know this is time consuming.
Limo!
Sorry. Stop.
We gotta help people customize and save!
Well, I asked her to play here first. But I want to play here else. I don't want to play somewhere else. Go over there. There's too much mess over there. We'll go in the house area. Don't push me. You're planning over there. We'll go in the house area. I don't trying to solve a problem. Go in the house area.
You're trying to solve a problem and you're talking, and it sounds like your ideas aren't working for Amaya.
I asked her to bring her stall over here.
So you want,
Megan asked me to build it right there.
so Ella wants to build a horse stall, and Cameron, you're asking her to build it over here, and Mingan wants her to build it over there.
I don't want to build it over there because I don't have anything to eat over there.
So there's nothing to eat over here.
Only over there, so I need to make it over there.
So you want to build it over there.
When her will get close to mine, and I don't like it when I get close to mine.
So one day you built one right here.
Yeah, I built one right there.
Hey Ella, one day Maya said she built something right here.
Yeah, I built it in that area. Mommy brought that thing big. But I will have to knock my bones and the house will be broken. Too.
So is the problem, are you worried that if she builds over by you, it'll be too close to yours? She needs to be close to the food. She's trying to figure out how she can build a barn and still be close to the food.
How about her to build it over there?
In the art area?
Yes, other people will walk there.
You're worried people will walk there? Ella, where would you like to build it? Can you show us where you would like to have it?
But I want it. I don't want it in the block area.
Close to the block. She wants it close to the block area and
Yes,
close to
right.
the food. But not too close to Cameron's. He just wants to make sure that it's not too close to his. Let's walk over here and see if there's some space.
Because that's too big of a stall. Too big of a doggy house.
They made a very big doggy house. I have an idea. I'm thinking over here is close to the block area and it's close to the food. Do you think that would work? And let's see, is it far enough away from Cameron so it's not bumping yours? So that works for Cameron too.
She wants to come in.
But it's only for me and Cameron and Lincoln.
I wonder why only you guys could go in.
Because it's not big enough for everyone.
That's a problem because I see some room here and Ella wanted to come in.
But that's the couch and that's the bed.
So is there a place that Ella could come in and stand or sit?
It could be right here.
She could go right there. So you're saying you're saying she can come in and sit right here? Does that solve that problem? You want to go in and sit right here, Ella? Thank you, Ella, for solving that problem and talking with her.
Pause. I have learned to pause the video. Wasn't that beautiful? I know it might look hard, but it's not. And once you start doing it, your classroom is going to be so much more well behaved. No joke. I'm going to share that one. Okay. Back to it. Whew. Hey, in that video I made of me in the school age room, I know you guys don't do that, but like I was just trying to make it really bad. So that way you could see the difference between the two. Okay. Now we're going to look at toddler problems. This is for you early folks in the early years, okay? So I was able to embed this video. Can somebody unpause and tell me, are you seeing adult child interaction part 3? Or do I need to screen share?
Yes, we can see
We
that.
can see it.
Sweet.
In a busy nursery environment, conflict is inevitable. The ability to resolve conflict is an immensely important skill for carers and for children. In high settings, adults adopt a problem-solving approach to conflict.
Do you want to give that one back to George and then we'll go and find some more? Oh, what have you got, William? Have you got some more cars to play in the sand? Did you go and get them? Yeah, oh, she's very busy at the moment, yes. Okay then, bye.
Can I ring her again?
Oh, you want to ring her again?
Olivia and Francesca both want to use the telephone. Olivia has it and won't share it.
Oh dear, Francesca looks a bit sad. Olivia.
Gonna get another one.
Oh, okay then.
This one.
Oh, you got a big one.
They have managed to find their own solution because they are familiar with the problem-solving approach to conflict.
But poor George, look.
In high scope, disputes are seen as opportunities for children to develop skills in social problem-solving.
I gave him another bite.
He's happy with that, isn't he?
Here, Ollie is trying to take the chair from Olivia.
Oh, Ollie, Olivia, what's the matter? What's going on?
First, Lisa establishes what the problem is.
You want to sit on that chair, and where does Ollie want to sit? Want to sit on this chair?
Lisa has to try several options to find a solution that meets the needs of both Ollie and Olivia. She offers Ollie an alternative, but this is not satisfactory.
Well, how about Olivia have a little go on that one, and then you have a go in a minute? Don't you want that chair? You want that chair? Right, Olivia, you've had a little sit on it now. Would you like Ollie to have a go?
She suggests that they take turns on the chair, but Olivia doesn't want to give it up.
And then you can have another go in a minute.
But when she suggests that the spare chair is a seat on a train, this is a solution he finds
Look
acceptable.
at that, looks like a train.
And they both take to this solution enthusiastically. Young children find it difficult to see other people's point of view. But Lisa has helped Ollie and Olivia to understand that they can still meet their own needs whilst respecting those of others. Sometimes the behaviour of children can be particularly challenging.
You leave it in there, Olivia, you're not supposed to stand in people's eyes. My eyes are hurting.
John's response is to call Olivia away from the sandpit, so there is no barrier between them. He explains how her action has hurt him. Olivia realises that she has upset him, and the situation is resolved with a reassuring hug. In this dispute, Ollie has bitten George on the hand. John reacts quickly and calmly to this outburst. His language is clear and direct.
Oh, George's hand.
He helps Ollie to see how his actions have hurt George.
I know you wanted the pens and you were sad and angry, but we mustn't bite him, Ollie.
He acknowledges Ollie's feelings, but he is very clear that this behaviour is unacceptable. Disputes do not arise out of children being deliberately spiteful or naughty. They are more the result of a child being too focused on their own needs and excluding those of other children. By using a problem-solving approach to conflict, children learn to see their actions from the point of view of other children. They learn that, with a little compromise, both sides can have their needs met. They also learn to deal with difficult emotions, like anger, in a constructive way.
There we go, one for Alfie.
During these distressing incidents, they rely on your support very much. They need you to be constructive in your handling of the situation, rather than resorting to shaming or ridiculing them. They particularly need to feel that you understand they are having a problem, and not that you have withdrawn your support because you think that they are the problem. Long-term exposure to this constructive approach to conflict will equip them with the skills they will need to meet their own needs, without disregarding those of others.
Yeah, that's some good stuff right there, guys. All right, here we go. We're doing some real teachers, real stuff now. This is exactly what we've been looking at. Due to all the technical problems, our trainings usually run about an hour and 20 minutes. So there are some videos that I'm going to cut short, just so that way we can get off not late. Okay. We'll actually probably be doing, starting them, watching a couple minutes, and then going to the next one. But these are so good. All right, I'm gonna have to do my screen share.
Well, I asked her to play here first. But I want to play here else. I don't want to play somewhere else. Go over there. No, there's too much mess over there. We'll go in the house area. Don't push me. We're planning over there. We'll go in the house area. I don't trying to solve a problem. Go in the house area.
You're trying to solve a problem and you're talking, and it sounds like your ideas aren't working for Amaya.
I asked her to bring her stall over here.
So you want,
Megan asked me to build it right there.
so Ella wants to build a horse stall, and Cameron, you're asking her to build it over here, and Mingan wants her to build it over there.
I don't want to build it over there because I don't have anything to eat over there.
So there's nothing to eat over here.
Only over there, so I need to make it over there.
So you want to build it over there.
When her will get close to mine, and I don't like it when I get close to mine.
So one day you built one right here.
Yeah, I built one right there.
Hey Ella, one day Amaya said she built something. Here is close to the Bach area, and it's close to the food. Do you think that would work? And let's see, is it far enough away from Cameron so it's not bumping yours?
Because it's not big enough for everyone.
That's a problem because I see some room here and Ella wanted to come in.
But that's the kitchen, that's the bed.
So is there a place that Ella could come in and stand or sit? She could go right there. So you're saying you're saying she can come in and sit right here? Does that solve that problem? You want to go?
Okay. Rather than going back and forth, I'm just going to go to my high scope and play my favorite ones. Playlists, conflict resolution. This is a great website, by the way. Okay. We are going to watch. That's a good one. Let's Be a Family, and then we'll watch Words Do Hurt.
Grammarly does more than catch errors. With Grammarly, you can find really good
You want to follow Alicia? Well, Alicia? I don't know if it's pretend or if it's real now because before you... Oh, it's still pretend. Okay. Are you still pretending too? You are? Yes? I said too. Are you still pretending? Because I'm not really sure.
No.
You're not pretending. You look upset.
Yeah.
What happened?
Alicia's not letting me play.
Alicia's not letting you play? Well, let's go talk to Alicia and see what we can do about this problem. No? She says that you won't let her play.
I don't want her to play with me.
Is this real or pretend? Because before you were pretending.
It's pretend.
It's still pretend, I say too. It's pretend.
Now let's play.
But you know what? Right now she's saying it's not pretend anymore because she's upset. Alicia, do you have any ideas how we can solve her problem?
She could go somewhere else and me and Nasaret could play.
She can go somewhere else and...
No, I don't have it like this because I don't have small or big one?
You want to play with this one because it's a big one and you want to play with it. Well, we have a problem. How? Anybody have any ideas how we're going to solve this?
Okay.
Yes. Let's see what I say too, sir.
How about you family?
How about if we're a family? Did you hear her idea? How about we're a family?
No.
Do you have any ideas, Alicia?
No.
You don't have any ideas? What about I say two's idea? Let's be a family.
I don't want to be her family.
You don't want her to be her family. So what idea do you have to solve this
I want to be
problem?
her family.
Your idea to solve this problem is to be Astoret's family?
I got a plan. She could go somewhere else that has an empty place for her to live.
She can go somewhere else that has an empty place for her to
I
live.
don't have like this, but
Well, I say
I have just like my life. I can live the
I say to you, do you have another idea?
How about you go somewhere, sleep up there tomorrow? No, I'm going to sleep right and here.
But you know, I'm not sure if you're pretending again or if it's for real.
It is pretend, and if she's mad and I'm not mad, that means she can solve the problem with herself.
She can. Oh, you're not mad. She's mad, so she can solve the problem by herself, Alicia. Is that what you said? Well, let me see if I can help you. I'll say two. Alicia says she doesn't have a problem. You still look really upset. Do you have any idea how you can solve your problem? I have an idea. You want to hear my idea? You and I can go to the family area and be a family together. What do you think about that? How are you going to solve your problem? Okay, come on.
Now you guys saw the eye roll, right? I mean, like this teacher's like, God, now I got, but she knows what's best for kids, so she's doing it. That's her job. But I love that. It's not my problem. I'm not upset. She needs to solve her own problem. Bright kid. And then when you start doing this in your classroom regularly, that's going to happen for you too. Okay, there's one more we're going to watch. We're not going to watch them all. It's the one with words do hurt my feelings.
Hey parents, over here. Let me show you.
Brianna, Jameer was telling you that some words were hurting her feelings. She said some words were hurting her feelings. Do you know what's going on? Kind of confusing now, isn't it? What? You're upset. You're upset about something. She's upset right now, Cameron. She would like you to leave that alone. You can look at mine. I see. So Jameer came over to me and she said that some words were hurting her feelings. And I asked her to come over and tell you that some words were hurting her feelings. Do you know what words? Were you two talking or arguing about something? No? You were just doing your work? You were here playing. You were here playing with your stickers and Jameer was working on her rock. And something happened and now you're feeling angry. And Jameer was feeling upset too.
Okay. That video was a good one to see because the little girl that was crying, she didn't get it. There could be something else there, but the teacher still solved the problem. That girl stopped crying. She recognized that the other child's feelings were hurt, even though that child didn't give her the results that she was going for. The problem was diffused and nobody was throwing chairs. But that little girl might be something else going on. If y'all could see that, I could see that. Okay, we're going back to our PowerPoint now because we're going to move on from those videos just because we don't have a lot of time. Lots of them that we're skipping. Now, you can go to High Scope and there are a lot of examples on there, and it's not all under conflict resolution. You're going to find some in other places. They're great videos. If you want to, you know, let them mentor you a little bit more, that High Scope is a great way to learn these new methods. All right, this is an Ella thing. The crying had went on 5 minutes previous to when I started this video. I had to edit it because literally she was in freak out mode, getting close to her bedtime. It was starting to get dark. It was dinner time. She was out of control. I had Kennedy to video this one.
So I'm gonna do it with you for 5 more minutes.
Okay, and Mama.
And then we can play again tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, and Mommy.
Good compromise. Shake on it.
And Mom.
Yeah.
When
Thank you.
Sissy leaves, can you please play Pop the Popcorn?
Well, like Sissy said, if I do it, my knee will pop out of place and then I'll be limping for about a week.
But I want more.
Okay, so we made a compromise and now our compromise is falling apart.
No.
What we agreed on, we shook on it. 5 minutes of you and Sissy playing popcorn. And then tomorrow.
Tomorrow we will play for an hour. Deal?
We can go back to the original plan of going inside right now and no popcorn.
No.
Or you can do 5 minutes of popcorn now and then more popcorn tomorrow. What's the best
I
choice?
know something.
What's the best choice for you?
Maybe we can, maybe tonight Sisters can jump with me on the big trampoline, and then when she leaves, maybe I can jump on my little trampoline over there.
Hey, that you even came up with that. That's a great idea. Okay, I'm gonna set a 5 minute. Okay, so that problem was solved. I just had to work with her, had to respect what she wanted. And that's just because of the way her brain is. It's not that I want to, man. I want her to do exactly what I tell her to do all the time to make my life easier. But I chose to be a mama. Her brain is undeveloped. I got to do these things. Let's see. Is this one? I'm going to skip through some of this, but I'm going to give you the gist of it at the end, okay? I know you can't breathe by yourself. So just try. Just feel my breath. Listen, feel it right now. Wait, fast forward through that part. Thank Okay, right now it is very late and I still haven't helped your brother study. Would you like to help me? Would you like to help me help your brother? I need a helper. Okay. Bubba can't concentrate. She agreed. Pause. Concentrate. Okay. In that one, she was overtired. You know, almost every video with Ella, she's overtired, to be honest. But she agreed. This was over a video. She wanted to watch a video. Keep watching her little videos. Hey, Austin, that's okay. No big deal. It happens to me all the time. And it'll be recorded if any of you guys want to go back and watch it. Sorry, Austin texted that he got disconnected. Okay. So anyway, we worked through that. I had to offer a new suggestion. You're not allowed to watch those videos right now, but you can help me help Bubba. And she did for like 2 minutes and then she went to bed. This is a short one, so we'll play it. It's distraction. So sometimes this makes no sense. Don't read it. Sometimes things just do not work out. And sometimes distraction is all you got to keep the drama down. And that's what this was. She wanted the Christmas tree up. So now that we're planning your birthday party, can we take down the tree and be excited about February 23rd?
Yeah, but Mama, is it okay if we do it a little bit later?
A little bit later today? Sure. Good compromise.
And Mama, can we do it when we get home from Andrea's?
Oh, that might be too late. We'll have to do it before we go to Andrea's.
Okay, Mama. But I will let you take the tree down today if you help, if I can help.
Of course you can help.
Okay.
Whew. Ella is, Kennedy and Britton were very easy children. Britton was active, but man, this is I'm definitely getting my payback with Ella. She was meant to be because she's my payback. Mom and Dad said I could be really rough. I wanted my way all the time. Imagine that. Okay, this is Calvin. Some of you guys might know Calvin. I had asked some of my close friends to make videos of their kids so I could have some real life stuff. Christy just sent me one. She said it helped her though, because there were times when she would be like, Calvin, you just need to be quiet and go to your room or whatever. And she'd be like, wow, if I were recording myself right now, that would be an example of what not to do. So that's what's cool about this. It makes you stop yourself sometimes and go, how else could I handle it? This is just replacing with appropriate, okay? Having low reactivity.
We can show your Stegosaurus, but what did you just tell me about Babu? What's the word we don't use?
We don't use hate.
What did you say?
Don't like.
You said, I hate Babu.
And then I said, I don't like Babu.
And then Mommy said, can you tell me in a different sentence what you mean? And then Calvin said,
don't like.
I don't like Babu. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And your Stegosaurus is very impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, guys. It does work most of the time. Sometimes it doesn't. I'm going to play you 2 examples of that. All right. We got happy Ella and sad Ella. I'm going to play you first my sad Ella. Wait. Yeah. This is my biggest failure. I didn't film it. It was it was 3 nights ago because I was creating this train on my back. I had no answer. It was a bad time. And I would love y'all's feedback for real, like not through chat because I'm not good at chat, but through text message. If you have any feedback to this circumstance you're fixing to hear about my kid. Again, it was bedtime. And it might just be she goes crazy when she's tired. But man, this was a rough one, y'all. I had to walk away and KB handled it for me. So as I've been preparing this training, I've been successfully talking my princess spoiled 4-year-old down. It's been working. Then came last night. Then, after I tell you the story, I'm going to tell you what happened to the training after what happened to me at home last night. Ella was in the bath every night all her life. What has happened during bath time is she plays for about 30-45 minutes and I go in. Most of the time I just get in the tub with her to wash her hair because her hair's long and I have to brush it in the bathtub. Last night, Ella all of a sudden was out of the bathtub, standing at the sink, brushing her teeth. I said, baby, you can't get out yet. We got to do your hair. Now, mind you, her daddy had done her hair that morning, so it was still knotted up from the night before anyway. And she says to me,
I already washed my hair and I did conditioner. Well, it was knotted up worse than I'd ever seen it. I guess what she had done is maybe put something besides conditioner or shampoo in it, but her hair looked like it was up to her neck, and it's actually almost down to her butt. That's how knotted it was. So I did all my skills, and I, finally came to an agreement with her that I would guide her in washing her hair. Well, after about 15 minutes of me being very patient and her telling me to keep my eyes closed because she didn't want anybody to watch her do it, I finally got frustrated and I just started washing her hair. And I conditioned it, and she screamed and cried so bad the whole time that as soon as I got the conditioner out, I just got it out as best I could. I couldn't brush it. Her hair was still just a big knot. She got so mad at me, got out of the bathtub, told me she didn't love me and I did not love her. She was puking because she was screaming so badly. I didn't know what to do. I tried everything, guys, everything in my skill set I've ever learned. Still, she growled and screamed, refused to let me touch her. Finally, Kennedy comes to the rescue and says, "Would you like for me to brush your hair? You can watch TV while I do it." And she said, "Fine, but I want to be as far away from her as possible." So she literally went to the other end of the house. And about 45 minutes later, I go in there. Ella's still looking at me nasty, and Kennedy's still working on her hair. She'd been going at it for about 45 minutes, and she hadn't even gotten halfway through. After about 45 minutes of trying to reason with this child, finally, she fell asleep on me. And when she fell asleep, I was able to sit there and go about 40 hairs at a time, get those knots out. It took probably 2 hours of her asleep getting these knots out, all because she wanted to do it by herself. That 2 hours of madness was because my almost 5-year-old wanted to do it by herself, and she failed. And I can't say that word, can I? It made her so angry, guys. And, there's just nothing I could do except for just to wait for the kid to fall asleep. I have those times. I have times where I just wish she would be quiet and leave me alone. But at the same time, even though I still have all those feelings, I have learned what a kid's brain is. I have learned what damages their personalities and what damages their trust. And I know if I treat her the way that I feel sometimes, she's not going to come out as awesome as I want her to. So I guess it's just more about us controlling ourselves. I mean, when it comes down to it, it's about self-control for us. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. Something I couldn't record because it was hideous. It was scary. It was like,
Okay, and then I'm not going to go through the next audio. I'm just going to sum it up. After last night, I came into work and my whole training that I worked on for 2 days mysteriously deleted. So it was just interesting. I had that horrible behavior with Ella, nothing I could do. Then my behavior training erased. So I redid it all. And I believe with all my heart, because I had my uncle works for UT and he's the tech for all the computers there. And he's the lead dude. I mean, he's a big deal. He couldn't help me retrieve it. And I feel like it was like a God thing or a guardian angel thing, that there was something on that training that I wasn't supposed to show. So it was meant to be, right? The positive example is a good part of that is when I went into Ella, I couldn't record. She was really angry at me in her bed, screaming, crying. When I went in to talk to her, she said, "Get away from me. I don't want to be near you." And so I said, "All right, I'm going to back up and I'm going to give you your space." And I did. And that calmed her down a minute. Then she, I told her, "I'm going to breathe for you because you can't breathe for yourself." And then because you're so angry. I labeled that emotion. And then she crawled over to me and she let me hold her, and she was still so tense, and she felt my breath. And all of a sudden those shoulders went limp and she finally relaxed. So I knew at that point it was time to say, I know you're angry. We're going to have to learn how to deal with our anger in a way in which we do not hyperventilate, because that's what she does. All right, let's move on. All right, so we're getting close to the end, okay? Tanya loves my tray ceilings. Can you see them? It's real cool when you lay in my bed and you look up. The chick before me was she was the lady that's in that band that I can't remember now, but she was super crazy fancy, and she decked this house out in fanciness. And luckily it was a real small house, so we could afford it, but it's small and fancy. So we're getting near the end. I need your pen and paper back out. This is only part 1 of behavior trainings. In February, we're going to be doing a part 2 to this. And that is where we are going to personalize it to our centers. We can't show kids on video, so we can't do that. We can't even say kids' names. And really, the real reason that makes so much sense, and that Bambi tried to get through my head so long ago, is, if we talk about a kid's behavior, what if an employee gets mad and is like, hey, they were talking about your kid's behavior? So it's really more moral than legal. So we never can mention names, but I want you to, part of next month's training is you're going to send me your red button. What really gets at you? We talked about kids leaving circle time, different things that can bother people. I need you to send them to me through text. I don't do chat. So that phone number or through GroupMe, I'm going to write them down, and we're going to dig deep into those things that you all send me. And we're going to try to make your life easier in the classroom. Okay. Couple more things. This is something that, what they have determined. Okay, so you guys know our early learning standards, that 10 Ls. There are all those categories, okay? Now, nationally, what they have found through research, these are the things that a child needs the most before he starts kindergarten, and it's pretty cool. Capacity to create a relationship, to concentrate and to be persistent, to communicate their emotions. That's all on you. You got to label them. Ability to listen to instructions. So those are the things, okay? That's what a kid needs. If he doesn't learn any ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, we want him to learn ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. But if he doesn't, as long as he can get those skills that we just listed, he'll be capable of learning later. So I already said this once, we teach a child to swim, to eat. We teach them mathematics skills and algebra skills. We teach them to drive. Yet we feel children do not need to learn social emotional skills. It's almost like we feel that they should just be born knowing how to act. So we got to teach replacement behaviors, problem solving through conflict, just like we would teach them the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. You don't see when a child messes up a math problem, as we talked about earlier, you don't say, go sit in timeout and figure out how to do that math problem. We help them, we teach them. So that's what we have to do. When they make a mistake in swimming, we don't say no more swimming and fuss at them. So we just have to learn how to seriously teach social emotional stuff like we do math. All right. Send me your problems. Play scientist with me. I want you to try these things. I want you to try to teach children to problem solve. And then we are going to come back to this training, and in February, we're going to go over these problems. If you need help to implement this stuff, go back to the behavior training from a couple of months ago on my YouTube, Jennifer Ladd Heidel, Heidel. Go back and watch teacher styles and watch behavior training, and let's make your life easier. Okay. So I need y'all's feedback. I want y'all to be interactive. I want you to record yourself talking like I did. I want you to record yourself on video talking like I am now, but just never use the kids' names. Tell me what you're struggling with, and then let's come together in our February training and let's solve these problems that are affecting us, not problems that are affecting high scope trained children and children over in London. Let's do kitty corner, okay? That's going to be our next training. Like I said, I have asked my friends like Christy and my friend Kelly to send me videos of them with their children at home, because those children, you know, you would be saying, hey, Jen, yeah, I give you permission to use, say it's Jessica Andrews. I give you permission to use me and Titus in our training video, but never, ever, ever, ever a kid from the daycare that is not your own child. You can record those if you want and send them to me, and I'll play them next, you know, in February, just like I played the ones with Ellie and Cal. All right. All right, we got to get in, we got to get dirty. We're going to help each other next month. We got to make sure that happens. Please send me stuff. I know you guys are busy. Just do the best you can, even if it's one thing. Okay. That's it. Okay, guys. I'm already getting messages. I'm so excited. So don't go anywhere, guys. I got to get your names. 54 participants. How wonderful. I'm taking a picture of your name. Then I'm going to let you go. Sorry it took so long. More. Okay. Hey, Corey's on here, a new employee. That's wonderful. Miss Courtney. Oh, this makes me so happy. Oh, guys. Okay, I have an iPhone right now. I'm going to unmute you, iPhone. I'm going to be sending you a message if I can get it to work. Okay, guys, look at your labels. And if you do not have your name up there, I need you to send me your name. iPhone, I ask you to unmute. Okay, good. I got that, Mackenzie. Then I have an iPhone 12 without a name. I have a Galaxy S8 Plus that does not have a name. I'm going to need you to text me your name.
Autumn is one of the iPhones.
Autumn Lindsay.
Yes.
Okay. Ada Lindsay. Do you have a, do you know if it, well, it doesn't matter. Okay. So I got an iPhone 12 and that Samsung. I'll tell you what, if you log on to your Tim now. Yeah.
Hey, Jennifer.
Yeah, babe.
The Jess is Jessica Anderson.
Jessica Anderson. Jess is okay. Jess A. Really, there was just three phones that I couldn't name. So in a week or two, check your TimPal trainings and make sure this is listed. If it's not, it could be that you're one of the trainings. Let me see here. Yeah, I got Jess. I see Jess. 1, 2, 3. Yep, I got 3 that don't have names. And one of them is Autumn. So it's going to be, if you have a Galaxy S8 Plus, you're one of those people that I need the name. Okay, y'all enjoy your Saturday. Send me stuff, please. I will remind y'all, don't worry. And I hope that the loud This was not too much for you. Craziness. All right, I'm ending meeting for all, ladies and man. Thank you.
Galaxy S8 Bye, thank you.
Hey, Galaxy S8 Plus is up right now. Who are you? Is that Tanya? Do you have a Galaxy, Tanya?
Say it's Amanda McCormick.
Who? Amanda McCormick?
Amanda McCormick.
Oh, okay. Amanda. Tanya, you're talking. I can't hear you.
Mine should say my name.
It does.
I
saw
okay,
your
I've got my.
picture on that phone. All right, guys. Mwah, have fun.
Bye.
Thanks for the weekend.